One of the most powerful features of levers is the ability to keep track of competencies as they grow throughout the projects and the products that are created in those projects. When you see a successful product, you can tell that there are competencies that were needed in order to do that. Levers provides multiple means of showing evidence of these competencies. I'm logged in as my new student, and when I go in, I have the ability to edit my profile. This is where we find the skills inventory. So right now I'm showing 0 of 0 entries. But if I go into add and edit skills, we see an entire list, an entire range. So one thing that we want students to do right away is to go in and look at the ISTE standards. And what they're able to do here is to say, what is my prior knowledge of these particular abilities? Am I able to set personal learning goals and develop strategies? Well, it sounds like a great idea. I'd say I'm a beginner at that. And have I built personal networks and customized learning environments? Well, it sounds good also, but I don't have an example of having done that. Do I use technology to give me feedback? Not so much, but I have used my knowledge to extend to other new technologies, so I'd say I'm intermediate there because I have some examples of where I had done it. And so we're able to go through and do a self-assessment to rate ourselves about these particular things. And it's not necessary to do all of them, but it is possible anytime it comes up in a project to gain that knowledge. Then we want to record the gain in knowledge in this system. So we do that through the profile. When it comes to application software, this is traditionally where the students that have used GenYes and TechYes before that have monitored their growth in terms of these particular things. So if we're talking about audio, I have all of these abilities here, and if I've ever used GarageBand, which I certainly have, I would say I'm an expert in that, and I'm learning my Logic Pro. So I can keep track of my competencies in all of these areas. Just to see what they are, and you should explore these on your own. Communication has these particular tools, and new tools can be added upon demand. So we're able to go in and request when we want those things done. I've used Tableau quite a bit. I'd say I'm intermediate with that. Educational software could include things like these particular applications. We've added GIS in here, so if I'm using ArcGIS, I can do it. And so you can see that we have hardware. What are the particular devices that are used? There's networking hardware. So it's pretty robust in terms of what we can do. Operating systems, I have certainly used a little bit of Chrome. I'd say I'm pretty good with the iOS. I'm intermediate with the Linux. I'd say I'm pretty good with the Mac OS and pretty good with the Windows OS. So I'm able to do that. When we get to programming, we're able to talk about the different languages that students might know. And this is also very important. We're able to deal with their actual spoken language. You'll notice that in New Mexico, Dene is important, and we have some other languages as well here. So it gives us the opportunity to gather this information. And last but not least, project management is key for what we're going to be doing in Levers. So when it comes to Scrum, I would say I am pretty good on that. I might even say I'm an expert on Scrum. And product review, same deal. And I have served as a Scrum Master, so I'm good on all of these areas. If we wanted to go the more formal route of the PMBOK, all of these areas are able to be tracked in here. And so that's where we go in to see what the skills are. So once I've completed that, I can say close. That's where I would suggest a new skill, but I'm going to say close, and look what has happened. I now have my technology entries here. I could see all of them if I want to. I could sort them by proficiency. So here are the areas where I'm a beginner. Here are the areas where I'm expert. And as we go through, the kids are able to go in and keep track of what they're doing. These become visible to us in other ways in the system, but basically students are self-reporting their inventory of skills and competencies using this technique.